The names of the 20 barred organisations were revealed early on Monday by the Strategic Affairs Ministry. Previously, the ministry had refused to publicly release the Boycott, Divest, Sanctions member list. Interior Minister Arya Derry, whose ministry will be responsible for enforcing restrictions on members of the list, added that the activists were trying to exploit the law and our hospitality to act against Israel and defame the country. Included on the list are Palestinian solidarity groups in Europe and the US, as well as BDS groups in Chile and South America. The Jewish Voice for Peace has also been named as one of the banned groups. Middle East cultural and political analyst Due-Gundersen told Sputnik that the current Netanyahu government is one of the most right-wing in Israel's history.
Well, I think right now we're seeing Israel is receiving a lot of pressure, and I think this is how they're striking out. We have to remember that the current Netanyahu government is one of the most right-wing in Israel's history. And so now that we've had Trump giving an endorsement to Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and we've also had the UN vote against Israel, I would say that Israel is either very empowered or very scared.
Essentially, what we're seeing from Israel is a deliberate attack on activists from these groups, and the latest in a series of populist moves by Israel. Is it likely that Israel will continue with these deliberate attacks, and what shape will future attacks potentially take?
I think it is quite likely for a variety of reasons. Firstly, Israel is arguing that the blocked groups are being blocked because they smear Israel's reputation. Now, this line is linked to Netanyahu's belief that Palestinian hate speech, as he puts it, has been allowed by organizations like the UN, which is why Netanyahu was pulled out of UNESCO. I do feel that there's going to be more aggression because we've had the Israeli Security Minister, Gilad Erdan. He has announced in a press release quite recently that Israel is going from the defensive to the offensive.
And finally, how has the international community reacted? What sort of response should we be seeing from countries surrounding this latest move from Israel?
Well, I think we will see a strong regional reaction, certainly from countries like Jordan that may now take more of a leadership position because they are sandwiched between Israel and the other Arab states, and they also have a treaty with Israel. So I expect that Jordan will become more politically active and try to lead the Arab world. At the same time, internationally, we are seeing condemnation of Israel, but it's mainly been through rhetoric rather than through action or response.
Enforcement of the blacklist is expected to begin in March and will affect those who hold senior or important positions in the named organisations, as well as key activists, even if they hold no official position. Last week, the Israeli government approved a plan setting aside $72 million to fight BDS, the largest monetary investment to date aimed at combating the global boycott campaign. Alexander South, Radio Sputnik.